Alright, hey guys, what's going on? It's another Monday, and you know what that means? It's another Murderous Monday. And today, we are going to be talking about the Stockwell Strangler, Kenneth Erskine. Who was he? What was his early life like, and why and how did he become so evil? I will answer this and more as I take you down the perspective mind of a serial killer, and obviously Strangler. Date of birth, July 1963. We obviously don't know the date, probably. Alias, nicknames, the Stockwell Strangler. Characteristics, rape, sodomy, and possible gerontophilia, which I don't even know what that means. Number of victims, at least 7, but could be more. Date of murders, April to July of 1987. Date of arrest, July 28th, 1987. Murder method, strangulation. Known victims, Eileen Ems, 78. Janet Cockett, 67. Valentine Gleam, 84. Zbigniew Strabawa, 94. William Carmen, 84. William Downs, 74. And Florence Tisdale, 83. I know I said a couple of them wrong. Obviously, that's a big new one. Yeah. Crime location, Stockwell, England. Status, incarcerated at Broadmoor Mental Hospital. Here we go. Background. I'm going to say this in a narrator's voice. Right, background. Erskine was one of the 4 children born to Charles and Margaret Erskine. Charles was Antiguan and Margaret was British, and they raised their boys in Putney. As a young child, Erskine was described as a chubby boy who could often be found reading the Bible. But his behavior became difficult to control, and he subsequently ended up at a number of different schools for maladjusted children. Erskine would attack his fellow students and teachers violently, and he seemed to be living in some sort of fantasy world. During one school outing, the children were swimming, and Erskine attempted to drown several of them. Wow, yeah. He also stabbed one of his teachers in the hand with a pair of scissors. Before long, Erskine graduated to burglary because he wasn't very good at it, and he was arrested and kept in jail on several occasions. Unable to deal with his behavior anymore, his family cut all contact with him. Erskine became a loner, drifting around flop houses. At one point, he lived on the streets. When Erskine was later arrested for committing the murders, it was discovered that although he was 24 years old, he had the mental age of 11-year-old. See, that's what I have too. I have a mental... See, I am 21. I have a mental age of 16. Throughout his subsequent interviews, he wasn't really mentally present. This left the investigations with enormous tasks as they tried to determine the level of Erskine's guilty and whether or not he even understood what was going on. Murders. Alright. Erskine killed his first victim, Nancy Ems. So I guess not Emily Ems? Eileen Ems? Or maybe they're the same person, I think. Nancy Ems on April 9th, 1986. Initially, the doctor ruled her death as natural, but then a home healthcare worker noticed her television had been stolen. An autopsy was therefore conducted. It showed she had been raped and then strangled to death. Jane Cockett was killed by Erskine on June 9th, 1986, in her apartment. Her death was also considered natural at first, until her autopsy showed that she had been strangled to death also. It also revealed that she had not been sexually assaulted. The next victims were killed on July 28th, 1986, after Erskine broke into the home of Valentine Gleam and, I'm going to say this one wrong, Zbigniew Strabawa. The two Polish men were sexually assaulted, probably women, were sexually assaulted and then strangled to death. William Carman was killed on July 8th, 1986, in his apartment. He had been sexually molested and strangled and robbed of cash. William Downs was killed in a similar fashion on July 21st, 1986, in a studio in Stockwell. The last victim of Erskine was Florence Tisdale. Her body was found by a caretaker on July 23rd, 1986, after she had been raped and strangled. Alright, we just basically, said the murder, so I don't really have to go through the timeline of them. Arrest and trial. Erskine had left an intact palm print at the scene of Crockett's murder because he had a long history of criminal activity, and fingerprints and palm prints were on file. He was arrested at a Social Security office on July 28th, 1986. Excuse me. He was put into a lineup and positively identified by Fred Prentice, a survivor of one of Erskine's attacks. On January of 1988, Erskine was found guilty of committing the Severn murders. Outcome: Erskine received a life sentence with a minimum term of 40 years before he would be eligible for parole. However, it was later discovered that he had a mental health disorder and he was transferred to Broadmoor Hospital, a maximum security mental health facility, in 2009. His convictions were reduced to manslaughter due to diminished responsibility. He will be eligible for parole in 2028. So wow, just in 3 years. Hopefully he doesn't get it, because he's a sick person. Trivia. In February of 1996, Erskine was again in the news. This time for preventing the possible murder of Peter Sutcliffe, a.k.a. the Yorkshire Ripper. By raising the alarm as a fellow inmate, Paul Wilson attempted to strangle Sutcliffe with the flex from a pair of stereo headphones. During his trial, Erskine masturbated at times and at times fell asleep. That was trivia and fun facts as the last paragraph. That is the horrific case of Kenneth Erskine, aka the Stockwell Strangler. And before we click off this video, I just want to give you guys a hint of who I'm going to be doing next. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video. This guy's date of birth was October 8th, 1948. He did rape and pedophilia, and he murdered 53, this is a big number, there's a big gap, 53 to 300 people, probably even more. and they were all young girls. If you guys know who I'm talking about, please put it down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Please like, comment, subscribe. It is a snowy, I don't know if it's actually snowing anymore, but it's a snowy Monday. And I would like, at the end or before every video, I would like to thank this big book of serial killers, an encyclopedia of serial killers, so I don't get copyrighted. And also Jack Rosewood and co-author Rebecca Lowe won't sue me or whatever. But yeah. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. On my other channel too, the wrestling channel, alright, well, please like, I know I already said this, but alright, peace.